Right, a very good morning to you. If you've just joined us, we're in Durban today. We've got a special broadcast happening out of the Durban ICC because for the next 3 days, this place is going to be full of government people that are working with ICTs for the Govtech conference, which is taking place. And we'll see about 2,000 delegates coming here to talk about the way ICTs, the way they're deployed in the public sector and how they can make a difference to you and me and improve our lives. And in fact, this year's theme is partnering for service delivery, connecting communities for development and growth. To find out a little bit more about that and what they hope to achieve in the next 3 days, I'm now joined by the SITA chairperson, Mr. Jerry Vilakazi. Thank you very much for joining us and welcome to the program.
Thank you. Good morning. Thanks for inviting us through. We're very excited about Govtech 2015, especially because we are celebrating 10 years of Govtech. And the theme, as you have stated, is telling the story of what is it that we are about. We want to ensure that we become a bridge between government and the private sector so that the private sector partners government in order to enable better delivery of services to our people.
All right, we're going to unpack that a little bit more, but let's take it back a little bit because some people have never heard of the State Information Technology Agency in South Africa. What is it that you do?
SITA is an agency of government that is mandated to deliver IT and ICT services to government departments nationally, provincially, and in local government. What we do, we procure services from the private sector, and we also have our own internal capacity within the organization to provide ICT services to government.
Right, 10 years on, particularly with this conference, but SITA, the agency was set up quite a number of years ago. Would you say it's been able to deliver on its mandate over that time?
It has. If you look at year on year, we're beginning to improve when it comes to the Global Competitiveness Index in terms of ICT. And because of the role that SITA is playing, we actually provide hosting services for government information data. For instance, people in this country and all over that come in and come out of this country, they've got very confidential data that they make available to government from birth to death, and that information is stored in a secured environment within SITA. We provide the largest network in this country for government communication, government to business, government to citizens. So we've made huge progress in the last few years in terms of ensuring that government is accessible to the people, regardless of where they are, whether it's in rural areas, in urban areas. There's a lot of work that still needs to be done. That is why the president has called on the rollout of broadband so that people can be able to access information regardless of where they live, regardless of their economic standing in society.
What difference does connectivity make? We're seeing people connecting more and more, and I'm just wondering, in the big picture, if we roll out the broadband and meet those targets that we've set for ourselves, what difference will it make for our country?
Well, there's no faster, quicker, reliable way to access information and to communicate. Information is power. We continue to talk of the digital divide, and we can see it especially in developing economies where people do not have access to internet, people do not have access to information. It is difficult to do business in a country where there's poor connectivity. It is expensive to do business in a country where broadband and connectivity is expensive. But it's worse for people that are in poverty, for people that are looking for jobs in rural areas who cannot access the internet, because when you go into the internet, you can access the world globally. Young people in schools, we can see how education is being revolutionized by ICT. In this country already there's a commitment from government for migration of education and learning to using ICT gadgets. that is giving people information and power. Yesterday, for instance, we had awards that were given, and one of the winners is the Department of Home Affairs. We can see how ICT has changed Home Affairs. The moment you apply for a service, you can get feedback from Home Affairs.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there, but we'll chat a little bit more about those awards. SITA chairperson, Mr. Jerry Vilakazi, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, okay, with that, that's our first conversation. We'll have a bit more. We'll talk a little bit more about the awards. Soon after the break, we've got one of the winners, actually, and we'll talk to one of the judges as well to see what it is they recognized in terms of achievement in ICT in the public sector. We're going to take a break, and after that, you're going to hear the sports, and go Lions.